kids are going to.
Great. Kids are gonna fuck.
I want to keep playing with this
Yeah,
tone
sure.
a little more. Good morning, everybody. It is first thing in the morning, and time for another first thing in the morning live stream. Today I'll be drinking from the Polar Bear Animation Nelvana mug, and I'll be sporting the jam-filled designer hoodie for the third day in a row. Yeah, full transparency. I literally have not taken this off since Saturday. I've slept in this. You know what? I'm fine admitting that. It's been cold, and I don't want to be. This is as naked as I ever want to be when it's minus 20 outside. So I probably will have to take it off before I leave the house today. I probably can't walk. You know what though? I was gonna say I can't walk the halls of Algonquin College with a stinky hoodie, but I blend right in. This is what they're all doing these days. This is the college way. So maybe I will. Maybe I will. It is way too cold. Is it? What's it like out today? Let me see what I'm dealing with here. I'm gonna check the weather. That's interesting to do on a stream, right? Oh my god, it's minus 22, and it basically will be until I get to the college. All right, so I usually like to walk. Probably not today. I'll most likely be taking the bus to school. Yeah, too bad. All right, but you know what? Let's not think about that. We're inside right now. We're warm. We're streaming. We're dreaming. We're still dreaming. We haven't woke up yet. We're still in a dream. So let's get to today's slideshow. Welcome. You're gonna send me to my room? That's where I dream. I didn't even mean to do that with talking about the dreaming. I guess I'm just thinking about dreaming a lot. All right, so upcoming streams have a little bit more projection into the future. So 16th, which is next week, no stream. 23rd, yes, stream. March 2nd, yes, stream. March 9th, no stream. March 16th, yes, stream. So on that March 9th week, I won't be doing a Monday morning stream, but I will be doing a stream because I just decided I'm going to launch a Patreon in March. And I will be talking more about that. Because what I'll probably do is put together my plans for how I'm going to be approaching Patreon, what I'm going to be putting on there. And I will also be making that sort of a slideshow going through my thoughts on something I've been thinking about, honestly, for a couple years and just in different ways of how to be an artist and putting your stuff online. And sometimes I just don't want to do that. I just like making stuff, and the managing of your online presence is, I don't know, often kind of annoying and ties you to a lot of things that suck. So I've been watching what Patreon's been doing over the years. There's a Patreon for the podcast that I do with Tab, Most Fun Podcast, but this is gonna be a Patreon specifically for my art. And the way I'm thinking about it is it's gonna be specifically, it's gonna be a way of me keeping a sort of journal, kind of in the same way your Instagram feed would be a little a journal of your art, I guess. If you would look back on it. I like that. I like having that kind of stuff, but I don't know. There's a lot of things about social media platforms that annoy me, but I do like the potential of Patreon to kind of put that stuff on there. Anyway, I'll be talking more about that when I come back, not next week, but the week after. And the Patreon, there'll be a rewards tier thing that'll include more live streaming, where I'll have I'll like work on stream once a week or something like that, and have just a casual chat. So yeah, be talking more about that soon. But first, a disclaimer. I'm just some guy. If you learn something, cool. I'm not claiming to have the answers. I'm just going to tell you what I'm interested in, what I've been trying. It might not work for you. I don't even know if it works for me. But in this case, I do know it works for me. I do know that the Ottawa International Animation Festival works for me. They work for me. They put on the whole event just for me. This is something that I've had the idea to do because I am a big proselytizer of going to the animation festival to my Ottawa animation friends. And it might surprise to find out that you could be an animator in Ottawa and not go to the animation festival. It seems like you have like a world-class animation festival in your backyard. Of course, you check it out. But I think a lot of people don't go. Some people just, I think they have a, I think they think they have a lack of interest. I think they assume certain things about what a festival is going to offer them, not realizing that it has something for everybody. The other thing I found is people feel intimidated by the programming. They look at the amount of stuff and maybe they see some things they recognize, but they see a lot of things that they don't. And they go, oh yeah, I've always wanted to go, but I don't know even where to begin. And then a couple of people have asked me like, what should I go to? So I thought, okay, this question, because it comes up a lot. I always go to the festival. People are asking me this. I'm going to make a beginner's guide. So this is the beginnings of my beginner's guide. I actually want to flesh this out into some sort of like little zine or something tangible, because I think it'd be fun and cute to offer to my friends. So a little bit of the history of the animation festival. Because even if you go to some of the stuff, it might be surprising or news to you. The first event was in 70. Oh, I wrote that wrong. It's not 79. It was 76. So it was founded in 75. First event in 76. So along with the Zagreb Anima Fest, which is in Croatia, and Annecy, Ottawa has one of the longest running animation festivals in the world, and it's the biggest one in the Americas. So they, another thing that I always forget about is that in the 80s they moved it to Toronto, and then they moved it to Hamilton, which I totally forgot about that. I was like, what? Is that true? It's on the wiki. It sounded right. I thought when I heard it, I was like, I think I've heard that before, but I forgot. But then moved back to Ottawa in the 90s, and it became an annual event in the 2000s. So it wasn't always annual. It was like every 2 years or so. And then they had every year, but every other year was a student animation festival. And then it was early 2000s that they just made it one festival and had it every year. And then TAC, which is the animation conference, started in 2002. So that's the more business-focused, industry-geared part of the event. It's kind of like a separate adjoined event, and that started in 2002. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you think back, oh, it was every second year, but it's like there's just so many films being made now. I get like it can support going every year. That's an interesting sign of, the accessibility of digital tools. I think is a huge part of that, of making people more able to make their films and like send their films more easily. It's just the whole process is so much more streamlined and can support a yearly festival. And it's also my favorite time of year. I've always loved early fall, like back to school time. I love the weather. I just love the vibes, and this just makes it even better. I've been going to the festival for 18 years strong now, and it's been feeding my love of animation all that time. Back in I went to it when I was really young, when I was a kid, like in the 90s. My parents actually took me, probably like late 90s. And then I went just for a screening on my own in like 2000, I think 2007 or 8. I'm not sure if sometime around then. So yeah. And we're 2026 now. So almost getting close to 20 years. It's always a lot of fun and walk away super inspired. It's given me a lot of opportunities to grow my career. Since I graduated from college, my student film played in the student competition. So that was great, like starting in the industry, meeting all these other people making films. And then I've premiered other films there, and I've pitched in the Pitch This competition in the finals. And that was like a big kind of career opportunity, career jump for me. So it's been really integral to my growth as an artist and animator. I've met a lot of people there, made a lot of friends. There's people who are like my festival friends, the people that I try to keep in touch with throughout the year. But the festival is really that like big catch-up time where you get to see all these people, because it's great. They all, they all just come over to Ottawa, and I just get to stay here and see them all. And then I've also just become like gotten to have more time to bond with friends people that I know in town, but maybe only see at work or something. And it's just a good opportunity to get to know people better and hang out and make fun memories together, especially or erase some memories. I've never gotten blackout drunk on the Saturday. I always remember everything vividly, but the Saturday night, I find this has changed though, and I'll get into this, but the Saturday night party is usually my like drunkest night of the year. And so it's always a lot of fun. And here's a few highlights I wanted to share. So in the upper left corner, that's when I was in the Pitch This finals, pitching Buddy and Pal's friendly competition, and came in second. Next to that is me with regular show creator JG Quintel. Had a close-up shot here of the box trolls. I also had a picture of Atari and the dogs from Isle of Dogs, but it wasn't as clear as this one, so I chose this one. And I got to meet Henry Selick and hold Coraline back in 2009, I think, but I don't have any pictures of that. One thing, as I was looking through all this stuff, I was like, I wish I took more pictures back then. I'm better at it now, I feel like. And then in the bottom left, we have the Cybertronic Spree. That was just such a fun night. Where was that? I forget what that place was called, but it was a really cool venue for the party. And there was like this band where they're all dressed like Transformers, playing the Transformers 80s movie theme song and stuff. And this was just a blast. And then over here, this is one of my favorite moments, is Beard Beaten Beard. This is me with Pendleton Ward. This is back in was it 2011 or 2012? 2011, yeah. So yeah, Adventure Time was in full swing. Yeah, it was cool. He was all over he was at every party. He was hanging out, and it was great to meet and talk to him. And then here's me at a recent one. This is 2024, I think, with me showing off my pass. Or maybe it was this was 2024. So yeah, a lot of my best times at the Ottawa Festival. So I've got this down to a science, going to the festival. This is just a little snippet of my agenda here, with all the different things I have to go to, color-coded all nicely. You know me. I'm a scheduling freak. So this is my scheduling freak plus years of experience. I've really got this tuned to perfection. I feel like with very few exceptions, I hit everything that I plan to go to. Also, there was the innovation last year of making time for podcast recording. So, since taking advantage of everyone coming to Ottawa to record some episodes of the Most Fun podcast, those have yet to come out, but they will start coming out pretty soon. I think the first of them will be out. There's an episode coming out this week, and then there's another one, and then you'll start hearing some of these we recorded at the festival. So I was trying to also add that to the juggling act of bouncing around to different screenings and events and stuff. But I was only able to do that because I have such a solid basis to work off of. And you'll notice that I'm also including in my schedule time for rest and recharge and early nights. It's all very strategic and balanced. This is the wisdom that experience brings. So, you might not be match my freak here, but this is a beginner's guide. So, if you don't know where to start, this is how I'm sort of framing it. It's like I'm like, there's just overwhelming. I don't know if I'll be able to see everything. Well, you won't be able to do or see everything. It's not there's always going to be conflicts and choices. So, also what you want to do and see will kind of decide whether you should get tickets or just get a pass. But honestly, I feel like there's so many options for pass that I recommend just getting a pass of some kind, because they have day passes, they have weekend passes, they have like 3-day passes. There's so many ways, like different passes that are tailored to different ways of going to it. Unless you're going to go to a specifically one event, you're going to like, oh, I want to support my friend's film. Oh, I want to see that feature. There's like one thing you're interested in and you're just zeroed in on that. Sure, get a ticket. If you're interested in taking in the festival to any degree, then get a pass, at least a day pass, if not like a weekend pass or something. And if you're just interested in getting to the festival, don't worry if stuff is unfamiliar to you, because discovery is half the fun. Part of it is seeing stuff that you love, and you get to, I love that person's films. They're doing a retrospective. I'm so excited about that. Or, they're doing a behind the scenes of the new, Pixar movie. I was really excited about that. So I'm eager to see what they did. Or, but then the stuff is like stuff you don't know to be excited for because you don't know it exists yet, and you'll discover it through the festival. So should I get a pass? Probably. Like I was saying, there's day passes, weekend passes, full passes. And also I'll say, definitely for beginners, like, should I go to TAC? Probably not. Only if you're really into the business of animation. The only other, so usually like most of the people who are there have comped passes through they're representing a company. Or like, they're either sent there by the company they're employed by, or they are a company, and their pass is like a tax write-off. If you're just attending to just out of interest to see stuff, it's just not going to be worth the money. The only exception I'd say is if you are interested in marketing yourself as a creator who's like wants to create shows and wants to sell shows and wants to partner with, different broadcasters or production companies, then and you're kind of new to it and you want to get lay of the land and start to like meet the different players in that space, then it can be worth it as an education. I think so. And if you are doing that, I'd recommend keeping an eye out for Pitch This and submit a pitch package to that. And if you get into the competition, then you will get a free pass. So you'll be able to go for free and also kind of have an opportunity and a platform to talk about yourself and pitch your show. So there's like a semifinals round where I think they have like 8 people present. and then it moves on to a finals where they pick 2 pitches to go head to head. So definitely recommend that, because even if you don't get selected for the semifinals, you've created a pitch package, and there are other pitching opportunities at the conference. Sort of like there's like a speed dating style thing where you can take meetings with like up to like 8 different people representing different companies. And of course, there's a lot of mixers and just mingling opportunities on top of that. So if you are interested in exploring that, it could be valuable. But I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to focus just on the festival itself. So the short film competitions. If this is the answer to where do I start? If you don't, you're like, I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know anything about animation at all. I'd say then go to the short competition gala screenings, because those are the banner events of the festival. So if you don't know where to start, I'd say go to 2 or 3 of these, and go to the opening night one to kick it off. Biggest reason, Chris Robinson, who's the festival director, he does something very specific with the competitions that I not a lot of other festivals do. I can't think of any other off the top of my head that do. I find Zagreb doesn't break theirs up into different categories, but their programming is a little more focused on specific kinds of films. They don't really feature a lot of commissioned or commercial stuff, for as far as I'm aware. But the short competitions are a mix of all different kinds of stuff. So no matter what short competition you go to, they're not themed. They're not like, ooh, scary shorts, or, oh, these are commercials, or these are experimental. It's like every screening is a mix of all the categories, all the genres, different mediums, different subject matters. So you'll really even go to any one of them, and you'll get a little bit of everything. You'll get like a good breadth and scope of what's going on in animation across the world. And it's a totally packed house. The Bytown seats a lot of people, and the gala screenings are always super well attended, and it's basically the best audience on earth that you could want for this kind of stuff. They're the perfect balance of respectful and enthusiastic. They're very vocal and responsive when it's appropriate, and they're quiet the rest of the time. But a huge portion of this audience are fellow animators, so it's like the people who absolutely love this stuff. It's seeing this stuff on a big screen with a packed house, and there's really few opportunities to do that if you aren't traveling the world and going to festivals. So I'd say definitely start there. And of course, if you go to the gala screenings, you get to see some weird skit from Chris Robinson at the top. Probably someone will be dressed as an owl. So they keep it fun. And if you want to kind of extend from there, meet the filmmakers. Those talks, that's a very nice pairing with the screening. So at the screenings, you'll see the films. But in the keep in mind everything I'm saying. This is based on how they've done it. Who knows? They could change things next year. Sometimes they change venues and change times and stuff. Typically, they're 9 a.m. at the Arts Court Theater. So they usually the morning after, they will have an event where they'll talk with the attending filmmakers from that shorts block and have a sort of candid conversation with Chris Robinson, with the festival director, about their films. So you get to hear more about their thought process, their technical process, and it's really cool. I find this kind of stuff is I appreciate a lot more than sometimes the more polished corporate big animation studio interviews, which are very rehearsed and very they're polished, but they're also censored, for lack of a better word. Like, whereas these are artists just kind of talking, like being very truthful and honest about the process and the difficulties and the challenges, and sometimes very revealing about the personal details of like what informed their film. And I just find that stuff really fascinating. So if you're gonna go, I'd say get there on time, because it does fill up, and there's always everyone I've been to, and this is new to me. Like never went to these before, because I usually would be out late and not want to get up this early. But a couple of years ago, I started going to them, and I was like, this is the best. I love this. This might be my favorite part of the festival. Actually, it's becoming that way, of the programming, seeing this stuff. So, and every time I've gone, there's always people who come in and see there's no seats left and walk out. So if you do want to go, make sure you're on time. So pro tip here, if you get a Saturday or weekend pass, then there's 2 Meet the Filmmaker blocks on the Saturday. So if you want to kind of maximize the amount of these that you check out, get a Saturday or weekend pass. There's also the panorama screenings. I'll mention this as an aside, but I think there's just as many great films outside of competition in these panorama screenings. In fact, they've sometimes, actually often lately, like especially like within the past 6 years, whatever, often like my clear, like, oh, that was my favorite programming block, was like the Canadian panorama or the world panorama. And I find for some reason, like, they definitely have like a mix of everything, but I find they sort of skew a little more accessible or digestible. And I don't know if that's even true or why that is, but weirdly, I feel like the panoramas rarely have like long films in them. I don't know if that's at all intentional or by design, or if there's a reason for that, but some, like, especially lately, short competitions, again, within the past like 6 years, and especially in the last like post-COVID, like short films have been getting longer. It's something that festival directors have been remarking on. And if you are watching one where you're like, I'm not feeling this, and it's like 20 minutes, it's kind of a chore. And the nice thing about a block, that's why I love student blocks too. I didn't mention this in the screen, but in this slideshow, but that's the great thing about student blocks, is like all their films are short. So there's something about brevity, but then of course also if you're watching something where like, I don't like this, well, it's gonna be over in 2 minutes, don't worry about it. So maybe that's part of it. It feels a little more breezy for some reason. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on the panoramas. I'm trying to, they don't have the same like gala treatment as the competition though. I think, I think I'm remembering. Yeah. They don't have the same sort of pomp and circumstance. They play them, some of them play at the Bytown, but, anyway, basically it's not as important that you go to the premiere screening for the panoramas. Just catch them when you can. So, and then there's talks, of course. I find this has been slipping for me, like in terms of, it used to be the main event for me, is I would just, and they had it at different events throughout the year, different venues throughout the year. They used to have it at the Museum of Civilization, or whatever it's called now, Museum of History. I forget the one in Quebec, and then they've had it at the NAC, and they used to have it at St. Bridget's, and so it's back at the NAC now, and they call this kind of part of the programming on Saturdays called the Animation Expose. So it's a series of talks and presentations that skew a little more mainstream, for lack of a better word, from studios like it's like Pixar, Disney, Warner Brothers, Adult Swim. So it's the stuff where even if you're not into animation, you've probably heard of. The more filmmaker focused talks and retrospectives happen outside this event throughout the week. So if they're talking about, a look back on the films of Phil Malloy, or Joni Phillips is doing a retrospective, then you'll find that this is not the place for it. This is more the corporate talks and stuff. And I just feel like I do love films from bigger studios. I'm not anti mainstream films. I do feel like as the years go on, I get less interested in them. I don't know if that's me or they're becoming less interesting. I feel there's a bit of both happening there. Sometimes there'll be something where I'll want to catch, like the Scavengers Reign panel. But because they have to be very polished and prepared, I find it's more often a mixed bag where it just feels kind of like that sort of like DVD bonus features thing where it's very approved by corporate, and like instead of hearing the sort of unfiltered thoughts of the creatives. And then I also just feel in general, especially with the bigger studios, there's a template that they all use for their talks. So you can almost go, it's like Mad Libs, where there's whatever film they're talking about, you just put in the specific details of that film, but they're all just going to say the same sort of stuff. You can have a bingo card for it. Actually, that might be fun to have an animation expose bingo card and get all the things they're going to say. Anyway, I don't mean to dunk on it too much because there's some that have been like I said, it used to be the reason I go. And when there's something you really care about that they're talking about, it's like awesome. And that's, where I met the regular show guy, and even the Disney ones. Like, I really liked the Once Upon a Studio presentation, and I thought it was very sentimental, but it was like very sweet and felt like earnest, and like their enthusiasm for the legacy of the studio just really came through. And it was like a nice moment. Like, everyone was like totally, it was like, again, the perfect audience for that kind of thing, where everyone was like, yeah, this stuff is magic. We believe in it so much. So if you're interested in hearing about latest and greatest from big studios, get a Saturday pass and just, park yourself here. And because they all just kind of rotate through this one room. And it's just usually a really solid day of programming. So if you're into talks, Saturday Animation Expose is the way to go. So parties, of course, can't forget the parties. So you need a pass for that day, the day of like whatever. There's a party every day, and you'll need a pass for that day to get to most of them. The notable exception is the Saturday night, because they partner the Saturday night party with Peak, which is a Ottawa arts and culture event, which is accessible to the general public, and it's like they're totally merged. You can walk from one to the other. It's often hard to tell where one begins and the other ends. So that one you can go to even if you don't have a pass for it. The locations and the vibes of the parties have changed over the years. My current party assessment is that Friday night is the best party. It used to be Saturday was the all out party. I think there's a few reasons for that. Mostly Friday, that's where attendance is at its height. Some people take off before the Saturday party, and like if they're coming in from out of town, they like leave early enough on Saturday to get home and have like Sunday to get like to buffer before the week starts. There's also Christy Caracas, and last year Chris Rutledge were DJing, and it was amazing. So the music's great, and just the energy is at its height because people are just about to burn out from too much socialization and animation, but everyone's still at their peak powers. I'll also say Salon des Refusés is also a really fun party that I've didn't go to so much in the early years, but now I make a point of checking it out. also at Salon des Refugiés, the reason it's called that is because they play rejected films from that submitted to the festival. They have a selection that they curate from the films that didn't play. And if you submitted a film and it didn't get in, if you bring your rejection letter, they give you a free drink. So always submit something, because at the very worst, you're going to get a free drink at this party. And they might also just play your film here. They don't play everything, obviously, but they play some stuff that was rejected. The closing night party on the Sunday night, it's really just the staff decompressing. So that's you can skip that one. Opening night is kind of fun, but it's a bit low key. Not everyone's there yet, and some people who got there that day are kind of like taking it easy on the first day. But there's karaoke, which is fun. I usually go to the my friends and I put on an art show that same night, so that's usually where I am for the bulk of the night, and I will sometimes catch the tail end of the opening night party, typically. And I have to have a slide specifically for the picnic. If you are going to get a pass for Friday, you got to go to the picnic. This is this is where like everyone goes to this, so it's one of the major highlights of the festival. It's fun out in the sun. It's often rainy that week, but the weather always seems to cooperate for the picnic. I don't ever remember it being rained out, although I'm sure it has to have happened at some point. But it's great. Free drinks, love that. And jack-o'-lantern carving. There's a pumpkin carving contest. This is always really fun to see a bunch of creative people try to outdo each other. Mostly it's a nice break from all the indoor activities of the festival. So to be out in the sunshine, but when you spend the rest of the time in cramped and dark theaters. There's a bus, like a shuttle bus, that takes you to the picnic. But I always walk there and back. Honestly, some of my favorite like memories of the festival are of like walking to or from the picnic and just chatting with people. So always opt for walking. So I have some more advanced tech, some more beyond beginner, but we're not there yet. That'll be coming soon. I think that's enough for now for a beginner. So just to sort of summarize a little bit, if you don't know where to start, go to short comp gala screenings. If you're going to go to one, go to the opening night. But check out 2 or 3, get a good lay of the land. And if you want to dig deeper, go to the Meet the Filmmakers talks in the mornings. And of course, if you are balancing this with day job, you're not taking time off for the festival, then that Saturday pass will get you access to 2 Meet the Filmmaker talks. And if you want to see some big studio animation stuff, that Saturday pass will get you to Animation Expose. If you want a bit of both, then the Saturday pass is great because you can go to Meet the Filmmakers talk, and then the NAC is a very short walk from there, so you can go over there and see some stuff from the bigger studios. In general, day passes are really worth it. It's like $60 to $80, and that's for like, if you can really like see, like for on the weekdays, you can see like 3 or 4 things in the evenings, and then of course for the Saturday and Sunday, there's stuff all day. So I didn't even mention Sunday. Sunday's a bit of a come down day, but it's a good day if you've been at the whole festival and you've been running around trying to catch stuff. Sunday can be a good day to like catch repeats of things you missed. So usually they'll always play something twice. So any short comp they'll play twice, any feature they'll play twice. So on Sunday you might be able to catch some stuff you missed. And then they also do a best of the festival screening. Usually it's like a double screening these days, where you can see just the best stuff on the Sunday evening. So a good starter build. So to kind of bring all this stuff together, I feel like if it's sort of one size fits all. You're just like, I'm going to check out the festival this year. I'm not going to take off the whole week and go to everything, but I want to like get into it starting this year. Okay. Get a single ticket, go to the opening night gala on Wednesday. Get a Friday, take off Friday. Just take off Friday. Come on. Take a day off work. Get a Friday pass and a Saturday pass. That way you can hit up the picnic and the Friday night party as in addition to whatever else you go see that day. In the midst of all this, you can go to at least one more short comp gala, one panorama, one retrospective or special screening, maybe an artist you don't know that you can learn about through a retrospective of their work. You can go to at least one Meet the Filmmaker event. You can check out some talks and presentations at Animation Expose and throw a feature in there. And then I feel like you've gotten a good sampler platter of everything. And if anything you want to do a little bit more of, there's room to sort of do more. But I'd also say don't try to pack too much in there, because part of the fun of the festival is you're standing outside the screen afterwards, you start chatting with some people, you go, oh, where are you guys going to? And maybe, oh, we're going to go grab a drink or get up something to eat. You know, that's a big part of the festival too, is eating stuff. That's going to be part of my advanced tech is talking about the best ways to eat at the festival. But yeah, you got to leave room to just float around with random people you meet, because that's a big part of why we go to festivals, right? Instead of just watching animation at home on our computers. So yeah, that's my beginner's guide to the animation festival. I hope you liked it. I know a few of you in the chat are no strangers to the festival. So I wonder if you thought that was a good summation of what someone who's interested in just getting started can expect. Brandon was saying the speed pitching had me so stressed last year. Yeah. Fun and valuable though. Yeah, I think for me, like, so just to reflect a bit on my, here, I'll go back to the slides just so we have a visual marker for it here. Yeah, me up here in the upper left-hand corner. I look very calm up there, and I am. For the full day before this, though, I was not. I was the most nervous I have ever felt and probably will ever feel. I think, like, I was so insanely nervous, it was like I was on drugs. It was like out-of-body experience. I remember, like, I was staying at an Airbnb close to the event, and I just remember I was like taking a shower before the event, and I was just like disassociating in the shower, just to like be like that feeling of like this fight or flight instinct was very high, because when I did this, I had never pitched. I had done one pitch before, if we can even call it that. I pitched like an idea for a Christmas short at Jam-Filled one year, but this was like actually pitching like a show idea I'd come up with. And this year I was like, I'm gonna go to TAC and start to get lay of the land. I'm gonna make a pitch and submit to pitch this. You know, I really wasn't like banking on getting into the competition, but I was like, if I make it, then I submit it, then I'll have something ready to go so that I can pitch at those other events and stuff. But then I got in and I got to the finals, which I was not expecting or prepared for. And yeah, like I said, I was just so freaked out. The thought that got stuck in my head was like, because just to paint the picture, it's like you're in like a hotel conference room, being like, and the judges are like the people from like Netflix and Disney and all that stuff, and everyone you'd want to make a good impression on is in the room, all eyes on you. And my thought was always just like, I don't know how my body responds to that kind of pressure, and wouldn't it be terrible if I found out it makes me poop my pants while I'm on that stage? To that point, I was so careful about what I ate that day. Like, I like had like salad and like almost nothing else. I had the most I think I ate healthier that day than I ever had. But it all went well, and it was a great opportunity to sort of walk through that fire and realize, okay, that was, not only am I fine, that went really well. A lot of people really loved the presentation, followed up with me afterwards, and it gave me a big confidence boost. Not just because people liked what I was pitching, but because I was like, oh, I can do scary things. When something matters to me, I can. There's enough there that I rise to the occasion, or I like the expression, when the pressure's on, you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your training. And I like that expression, and I like because it's like, I think there's something to both of those ideas, that in that when the emotions and the energy run high, it gets you to zero in and focus and do your best. But also, it's like if the floor support isn't there, then you need that too. So it was a nice way to find out, in a high pressure situation, I know this stuff. I've got a good foundation here. So whether you go there because I've also done the speed pitching stuff, and that's good in its own way, because it lets you sort of get a lot of opinions and a lot of perspectives and a lot of reactions to your material very quickly. It's almost like very quick, like A/B testing with different production companies and different broadcasters, and really it's a good information gathering venture as well. In addition to just talking about your stuff, you get to find out what different broadcasters are looking for. And it's just, it's good to get a lot of feedback. I always think about stand-up comedy, where stand-ups like to get up as often as possible so they can test the material out in different rooms and get different reactions to their work and see what works. It gives them information about okay, that works 4 times out of 5. I'm going to incorporate that into my act and just accept the fact that maybe some rooms don't come with me for that part. Although this always works, or, it just it lets you make the most informed decisions about then what goes, how, not just what your show is, but how you present it, which I think ties back into what it is. The more you understand how to present it, that informs how you want to make it as well. I never been to OIAF, only Taffy. That was a good rundown of what to expect. Okay, cool. I'm glad it was informative. Yeah, because they have a lot of similarities, but they're also, Ottawa and Toronto's festivals are very different, especially when they have the events being separate, but they've combined them again. So Taffy is also another festival and a conference paired together. All right, so that's that's today's presentation. I will be setting up a draw pile now for the remaining half an hour. So just give me a sec while I set that up. And while I'm setting it up, why don't you tell me some of your favorite animation festival memories? Your most treasured memories. And if you've never been, say what I was talking about that you'd be most excited to check out. There you go. I'm realizing now one thing I totally forgot to mention is that this upcoming, I don't think I said it up top, I meant to, but this year's festival will be the 50th anniversary of the festival. So it's a good year to come check it out if you've never been before. Oh, that's a nice one, Brennan. Brennan says, "I think very fondly of seeing Hey Men with you and Tab," and that's Hey Men is the film Tabitha directed that I co-directed with her. And he says, "I'll never forget you saying next we'll be seeing your film," which was accurate because I guess it was the following year, right? That Join played, which is a really great music video that Brennan made in entirely in Procreate, based on a session from JHS Pedals, which is a guitar pedal company that will host these jam sessions, and they record them. And Brennan did a really cool little cartoony but abstracted sort of music video to go along with one of those, and it's really sweet and had a very good little festival run. Played at quite a few festivals all over the world, and that was really cool. I got to see it at 2 different festivals, in addition to seeing it at the Show and Tell. I saw it at Les Sommets de Cinéma Animation, great festival. That was in Montreal. And then, of course, got to see it at Ottawa. But yeah, played it, quite a few places. Okay, cool. I found out how to make it not... You don't need a password to get in here. So May was lovely. Wish I could have seen more of it. Yeah, I'd like to go more this year. Unfortunately, there's some kind of sad news. Marco, who's the director, has been having health issues, and he does a lot of the work of putting together the event, obviously. So people are filling in for him, but it's kind of a question of what the festival is going to look like this year, unfortunately. So I'm going to post the draw pile link here. I was trying to figure out some of this last week, what people are doing to actually join it. Before it was like, I was including the word, like when it gives you the link, it says like draw pile : //pub.drawpile.net. Apparently all that stuff, the draw pile stuff at the start, you don't need. So I'm posting, I think you include the backslashes here at the start of this URL I posted in the chat. Maybe you use them, maybe you delete them. If you're going to join, please let me know what you're doing so that I can streamline this process in the future. Because yes, I also will be doing, probably pretty soon. Let me see. I'm going to look at my calendar. Actually figure this out. Yeah, I might do it. Maybe not this week. But maybe next week would be probably good to do it. I want to just do a stream like during the day or in the evening. Just hop on draw pile and just do a drawing stream. But yes, please join the draw pile and draw with me. Another thing I'd love to figure out is why. Oh no, is OBS gonna die on me? No, okay, good. Why I have to keep reselecting my sources for my different scenes. I wonder if that's something I'm doing, or that's just something with OBS. You always have to refresh the selection. What I mean is the different things I've got going here. I've got like draw pile up. I've got my camera up. For some reason, the camera always, I don't have to refresh that, but for applications, I guess because I've closed them and reopened them, I have to like refresh the connection. Anyway, I don't know if anyone here has an answer to that, but it's just something I've been thinking about, and I'm thinking about it out loud. Get some tunes going. So Brendan, you joined the draw pile. Did you include the backslashes at the start of the URL when you joined, or did you just start with pub.drawpile.net? This is what I must know. I must know this. Pasted the whole thing. Okay, cool. Good. Oh, we got Fishman. Fish says, good festival tips. Thank you, Fish. Glad they were informative. Hello, Sean. Are you joining the, are you in the draw pile? Is that Crow? Is that you, or is that some other person? Who we got here? Who's drawing? drawing so far. I want to keep playing with this. Yeah, sure. A little more. Sean says these tunes are amazing, dude. Thank you so much. This is right now we're listening to some stuff that Dougal and I have been working on. We can get together on Tuesdays and jamming. So some of the stuff I'm playing is stuff that I've clipped from those jams that we're gonna refine, and yeah, with the goal of recording some of it and playing live. So that'll be closer to summer, later in spring or early summer probably is when we're really gonna start doing that in earnest. But yeah, you get to hear a little preview of some work in progress on that. Yeah, some of the stuff I'm playing is stuff I've just recorded on my own, but the stuff you hear with the actually good drumming. Yeah, if you hear actual real drums that sound good, that's me and Dougal. Dougal's on the drums. Oh yeah, this one in particular I'm really excited about working on. Also, speaking about the festival, so last year Dougal and I made music for the sponsor reel, which I worked on with Chris Dainty and some other talented artists. But yeah, me and Dougal made the music as well for that, and which is kind of what sparked us to be like, oh man, we need to make more music out of it. That was fun. So this year I'm already thinking like this will be the basis for the sponsor reel music. This one we're listening to right now. You need that fanfare for 50 years. You gotta have high energy. A little note too, this is actually sped up from what we played. A lot of times we're playing it slow because we're just making this up as we go, so sometimes we're just kind of exploring the musical idea. But then I hear I'm like, ooh, this needs to be, I feel like this one would sound good if it was faster. So I'll speed it up. Brandon says, hit me up if you ever need some mediocre bass or mini chord. We will keep you on speed dial, my friend. There shouldn't be a password. Is the is that link above not working? I've pinned it to the chat. Brendan was saying that all he had to do was paste that link into the session bar and it worked. Turned off the password this week. Oh, okay. So Fish is saying that taking off the backslashes worked for him. So your results may vary. Try that though. I won't let you join from the browser. Okay. Yeah, one day we'll get all the ins and outs of Dropile really figured out. All of its many mysteries. Yes. A nice fishman robot. Beautiful. Ooh. With a built-in CD player. Nice feature. Oh, and you know I love those clamp hands. Clamps. And a very cute giraffe boy on his way to school. What's he thinking about? What's he excited about? And I'm gonna purely draw my OC's mode today. Oh, the CD players to play some Spencer and Dougal jams. Good answer. I'm gonna draw my own version of Giraffe Boy. Workout is designed for a watercolor. Nice. By the way, I think we're getting randos joining this because I'm hosting it on Drawpile and there's no password. But they're seeing our art and being intimidated by our brilliance and immediately leaving. Oh, he's got a little buck tooth. That's cute. Yeah. Where's the album link? Do you mean for the like the Dropout link? Oh, the album for the music. Yeah. There's not an album yet. A lot of this is right now what we're listening to is like odds and ends of like unfinished songs that I've done over the years. So eventually they will. I like the idea of eventually using everything I've put together in some way or shape or form. So eventually they will be accessible and enjoyable to all. Yeah, it is. Thank you. I'm glad it works as a like perfect blank canvas drawing music. That was kind of like, yeah, I was like, hey, this because I was looking for something to kind of make it so that when I'm drawing on here, it isn't just complete silence if I'm not talking. I was like, hey, a lot of this stuff is good, sort of nice background music. So. Yeah, maybe I'll do something like that. Just put out some of these instrumental things as music to draw to. That'd be cool. Your tunes all have a nice little journey to them. I can feel the story. That's a great compliment. Thank you. Often when I'm writing music, I'm thinking of it in like musical terms, in the sense like it's in a movie and it's telling part of the story. So I'm glad that comes across. Like I feel like I can't write music without thinking about it in storytelling terms, or at least visuals. I think part of it too is I don't really write music in like verse, chorus, verse way. I just kind of like exploring ideas and let the sort of ideas dictate the structure. So that gives them a sort of unique journey for each individual song. Yeah, Giraffe boy. I draw this, but it's intimidating levels of detail. And I don't really have a good amount of space here. I'm gonna let Fish Robot stand alone. Wow, time flies. It's almost about 5 more minutes to wrap up. I'm gonna color in some of my guys. color this guy and then wrap it up. Oh my god. I love this. This is so good. Alright, I'm gonna take a little video. Yes. All right, c'est tout. C'est tout, mon ami. Oh, this art frog, beautiful. He's so handsome and strong. Very good. All right, that was a fun one. Yeah, so no stream next week, but I will be back the week after that. So hope you all have a nice family day, long weekend, and look forward to catching up with you on the other end. All right, have a great day, have a great week. See ya.